Starting up.
Welcome to the new batch, the new summer semester batch 2024, to this lovely audience and to the people in the stream. This is Elisa.
This is Fabi.
And this day marks a historic milestone in the history of START Munich. Today, we took START Sprint to the next level. 24 new studies, 4 weeks, 7 workshops, and 1 demo day. Today is the day. This is the biggest sprint we have ever had. On top of that, we are live streaming the whole event just for you. During the last days and weeks, all of the departments at START Munich worked in close collaboration for this day. And now it's time for a huge applause on that. This is crazy. It's amazing to see that the START sprint, which is happening only for the second time, already has this kind of level.
And now we will welcome our great jury, which we have right here. So we have Basti from Tom Venture Labs, we have Jackie from Antler, and we have Manu, who is coming from Explore. So big round of applause. It's really killer jury. Before we start, let's quickly give you a round of how is this evening gonna look like. So we will start with 3 amazing pictures, hopefully amazing. I count on you guys. Then we have a quick break, 10 minutes, where you can catch your air, get a drink. Afterwards, we have a second half. Again, 3 great pitches. And in the end, we have 2 very special pitches, because those are startups who are actually already in the founding stage. So not just like 3 weeks of sprint, but they have maybe a little more experience, and maybe you also can get some feedback on that. During that time, our amazing jury will go deep, think about who is going to be the winner of the amazing prize we have. And with that, now I will introduce to you to Christian, because without him, it wouldn't be possible to be here at Gate Garching. So big round of applause for Christian here, Gate Garching.
That was about it. I just wanted to mention it, that what you can expect here, we start with offices, small offices, 20 square meters from €13 per square meter on, and the rest I've already mentioned. So just reach out to us, go to www.gategarching.com or follow us at LinkedIn, and I'll also be around the whole evening. And now please enjoy your great event.
Thank you very, very much, Christian. It's a really lovely location you have here, and we feel really honored to do this event here. Thank you very much. And now, let me help you, let me welcome the first startup of this night. It's Stample.
Hey guys, thanks for having us. We are Stample, and we are uniting loyalty with digitalization. Ah shit, I forgot my pointer.
So I guess everyone knows this problem. I lose everywhere my stuff and I forgot like everything. Therefore, in the last couple of weeks, we got more into the topic of stamp cards. Studies have shown that stamp cards increase customer loyalty, but these small paper cards are quickly forgotten or lost. And additionally, there's the trend that your phone replaces your wallet because you can pay with your phone. So the effect of customer loyalty gets lost for the businesses. We talked to several local businesses here in Munich, and they told us they are not able to invest in a digital loyalty program. And therefore, they are missing the opportunity to analyze customer data. That's why we came up with our solution. Our app unites all your loyalty stamp cards. So the next time you go to your favorite cafe, you're definitely collecting these stamps. Additionally, for us it's important to enable businesses to manage their own loyalty program. So it's up to them how many stamps you collect and what the bonuses are. Furthermore, we provide after-sales and consulting services, so the companies can provide more information and meet the wishes from the customers. But what makes us unique? Firstly, we want to cooperate with small businesses because they don't have the resources. Like huge businesses already have digital loyalty programs, so we are going to work with small ones. Furthermore, how do you collect these stamps? You can scan the code and then you collect them directly, or you can use the NFC chip. So the businesses have an NFC tag, you just take in your phone, hold it to the tag and collect these stamps. For us as a company, it's important that our solution is easy to use, flexible and personalized for both the businesses and you, the user.
Yeah, you probably ask yourself, are we going to make some money with this idea? And we think yes, because with a sum of around 100,000 businesses, small businesses in Munich, which are really interested in our loyalty system, we think that there is a really great potential. We want to explore this potential by doing these steps. First of all, we want to do a pilot project with around 15 businesses in Munich with around 100 customers. Then we want to explore to all Munich businesses which have already a loyalty stamp card system. After it, with cold calling 1 hour a day per person and having an average conversation time of 10 minutes and an expected conversion rate of 50%, we are able to make our first 1,000 customers in the first 4 months. After it, we want to build or relaunch our app to include all the user feedbacks, and we also want to start a marketing campaign to make us ready for expanding to Stuttgart. Why Stuttgart? Because in Stuttgart we have some close connections which are already important considering the cold calling.
The concept is already existing and we have various competitors internationally, but they are not operating on the German market. So Stample has the opportunity to become a pioneer in digitalized stamp loyalty cards combined with customer behavior analytics. Michi, Alisa, Niklas and me, together Stample, and team is not just a random term for us. We met randomly here 3 weeks ago and having so much fun working together. And we want to continue. So invest in us that our vision became a reality. Now, scan the QR code, please, and see how our MVP works. Niklas is right now a coffee shop owner and show how easy it is to create a stamp card to your store.
All right, get out your phone, guys and girls, and scan a QR code. It's possible that it does not work in Ethereum, but it should work normally. All right, we already have a working website. It's fully launched. Let's just load it again. Hopefully some of you can exit as well. And let's just get started, create an account. I'm a small business owner, so maybe I have a small coffee shop. My mail, I'll just use my personal email here. Please don't copy it. You can do this as well. We already set up a whole pipeline with Make in the backend so that you get your own QR code. We are in Munich. We make coffee. And let's just choose no. Okay, Apple is not letting me. I don't care. I just sign up. Oh, the email already exists. Now use a different one. Anyway, let's hope this email is not existing. I should have deleted the account. No, I didn't delete it. Then just sign in with one I know I already have. Maybe some of you are already signed in. Let me know. Yes? No? Okay. Anyway, we already have privacy policies. We have a backend in the end that will send out QR codes to your email address once you create an account. You can also already sign up here, and it's connected via Stripe in the backend so that you get billed, but it's currently in the test mode, so you don't pay actual money. We have privacy policies and everything else, Google Analytics, and this is basically nearly ready to go for companies that want to work with us. From now on, we would need to build the app for the users and connect them. For those of you who won't believe me, I still have the mail with the QR code with me. Here you can see it. It was sent to my email later, so the backend works. And yeah, I hope that you liked our presentation and our product. Maybe some of you could visit the website, I hope. And that's it from us.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. Really impressive what you did in the short amount of time. Let me focus a little bit on the go-to-market. I didn't fully understand that. So you, for example, said that you're assuming a conversion rate of 50%. Have you any benchmarks for that, or how did you come up with that number?
Yeah, like to every customers, we already talked when we only count this people in the conversion rate, we have like a 100% conversion rate interested in our idea and also wanted to sign up, but we talked with some other guys who had like a similar idea for local, like for Landshut, I think it was an app, also like in kind of the same business, and he said it's like 40 to 50% conversion rate. Even with cold calling, that's why we came up with these numbers.
A short follow-up. This kind of business model or go-to-market reminds me a little bit of Groupon, who, of course, struggled quite a lot with scaling up the business because they have to do and redo the sale. Have you considered what that would mean or how sales would affect your capability to grow if you have to re-sign up new businesses, also considering that those small companies have a rather short lifespan of closing down and starting new?
Yeah, I mean, we can also show you our pricing scheme, where we think with this pricing scheme we have the small businesses like really, yeah, exactly. No, the one. Exactly like where we have €10 basic plan. So we think with this, like we can approach to the small businesses that they have like possible really long life cycle, so that we don't have the like the thing you mentioned with like only short life cycles. But I think it's true that in general with only 4 people we can't scale like in 3 years and still cold calling like every new customers we want to approach. So that's of course a thing, but we did not thought in detail about how and when do we want to like hire new people. But in the end, I think until Stuttgart we will manage it with our 4 people, and then we hope that we need some more employees.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Also from my side, great pitch. I think great energy and really impressive what you have done over like 4 weeks. This is really, really great. I have a question or maybe 2 about the problem you identified. So first of all, maybe how did you come up with the problem, and also do you really think it's a very big pain point, and do the consumer really knows it is a problem? And then also maybe about validation, how deep did you went into validation? Have you talked to customers? Do they really want this? So maybe you could share a bit about that.
Yeah, so we talked to our B2B customers. So we just stepped into the stores and asked, are you using stamp cards? What are the problems with the stamp cards? And there the problems we just told came up. So, and like also there are local small businesses who don't want to use stamp cards because it's or something digital, because it's not matching their vision of their store. So that's also fine, but the ones who are already using these stamp cards, we're really like, yeah, that's a good idea because we notice that it's getting less. And
I can give you also an example. For example, Ile is also offering this stamp loyalty cards. But as we went to the store, they said we run out of the cards, so we cannot offer you a new one. But imagine if we have the app, my phone is charged and it's working, then I have the possibility to use or get new loyalty cards.
Also from my side, I got my QR code. I love it. So. Live demo and really amazing, and shows that you really did your stuff. Just a question, if I am one of the shop owners and then I have customers coming in, do I have to educate them, or do you help the store owners kind of raise the awareness of the card?
So it's really easy to use. It's kind of idiotensicher, also for stores and also for the app users. We can give a demo video, for example, for the coffee shops.
I meant about the customer of the customer.
The app user.
No, I meant about, so I'm a consumer of a store, and my customers walk in.
So you are a coffee shop owner.
I'm an owner, my customers walk in. Do I say then, hey, by the way, we have this loyalty card? Or do you help the owner like advertise it with stickers or flyers or, yeah, so.
Maybe I can say something to that. So, I mean, it's basically as it works now. So if a coffee shop already has like a paper stamp card, the customer, hey, I have the stamp card, I have this loyalty program, do you want to like use it? And it's the same here, but we would additionally provide paper things that you could, the owner could put up with a QR code or with an NFC tag, which are, I don't know, maybe this how huge, maybe just very small, that are on the counter, and the customer would see them and maybe think, oh, what's this? Maybe I scan it, and probably you would tell them as well, just scan this. This is our loyalty program. Would be great if you'd join. Yeah.
Just a small thing to add, like a lot of stores are using payback or so, like, but huge stores, and they are also always asking you, do you have your payback card? That's just one short question, and we think that's enough to engage the customers.
Thank you so much. Give it up for Stample. All right. After the first pitch, we now will transition to Blood Vision, who make blood results explainable, easy to use, but they will tell you more about it, so give it up for Blood Vision.
Okay, so 2 months ago, I had this appointment, and there I also checked my blood values. At the end, I received this piece of paper here, and I guess that all of you received a similar report in the past. But honestly, who really understands what those values really tell us and what we should do with those values? I personally didn't receive really good explanation on my blood test results, and therefore I started to investigate on my own and to check all the values. But then I got even more confused. And actually, I'm not the only one. In fact, 72% of patients state that they do not fully understand their blood results. Only 10% of patients really need a follow-up appointment with the doctor. This is because most blood test results are in range. Also, the doctor only has 7 minutes per patient, so even if the doctor talks with you about your results, there's not enough time to go through all the values in detail. Therefore, a lot of data is just unexplained. This leads for the patient to many unanswered questions and also many concerns. But we truly believe that blood test results have much more potential.
So that's where we came up with Blood Vision. We make your blood results understandable. So we provide a Blood Vision report, which includes, first of all, a comprehensive explanation for all blood values. In addition to that, lifestyle recommendations, while considering medical history, including medication. So we really thought about how can we make our solution most accessible. So we decided to partner up with doctors. So let's say Alex is at the doctor's office to get his blood tested. Right after the blood extraction, the doctor offers Alex to our Blood Vision report, our paid Blood Vision report. If he accepts, he'll get this report sent via mail right after the blood analysis. So let's recap, talk about our business model. The general practitioner sells the Blood Vision report to the patient. The patient pays 25 euros. And from these 25 euros, 15 euros go back to the general practitioners and 10 euros go to us. So you might ask, why would the doctor really do that? So first of all, doctors love to treat patients. But on the other hand, they love money as well. So they can make an additional revenue of 2,000 euros a month. In addition to that, they can generate another revenue stream by converting unpaid consultation hours into more treatment time. That means more patient. Super important for us is that we don't put any additional workload on the doctor. except besides offering the blood report. So let's talk about the market size. In 2022, there were 800 million blood tests conducted just in Europe, which corresponds to 15 billion euros. And it's a growing market, so it's going to be 70 billion by the year 2030. Why now? Well, why is that, and why is now the perfect time for blood vision? First of all, the personal healthcare sector is a growing sector. Secondly, the preventive healthcare market is growing as well. And lastly, we are currently in a digital health transformation. That means doctors are increasingly willing to adopt new innovations. So you might ask, hey, aren't there other competitors out there in the market? And yes, there are other competitors in the market. But what sets us really apart is, first of all, that we are super accessible for patients, and that we consider the medical information, the medical history. And third of all, we generate an additional revenue stream for doctors.
So how does our technical solution work? So when, after the lab has conducted the blood test result analysis, the result is sent to the medical office software via an API. We then access this API to extract the blood result and some information like medical history. We then use deep learning and large language models, as well as the knowledge base, to create the most highly accurate, comprehensive, and intuitive report for the patient. This report is then sent to the patient. Our team is diverse. We cover medical, technical, business backgrounds, which makes us competent to make your blood test understandable. We hope you join us in revolutionizing comprehensive blood test results. We're Blood Vision. Thank you.
I think this is a very, very interesting industry to enter, which also leads to my question, because I think it's also a very tough industry to enter, and I think you're not going to be the first team to think about such an idea. So my question is about, first, how do you deal with this sensitive data? Then also, what did you identify as the biggest challenges when entering this market? Yeah, this is what I would love to hear.
Yes, so to handle the sensitive data, we would definitely encrypt the data. And after we are done creating the report, we would anonymize the data. And if applicable, we would use it for a knowledge base. So we combine both approaches, using deep learning for the anomalies that are not detected, and knowledge base for already the medical conditions that are detected. And our biggest challenge is probably getting the data, getting the permission to work with patient data. But I think this can be done. We would need to talk to more doctors, to more general practitioners. I think we already have conducted some research, and it's promising. The field is promising.
Thank you. Can I ask a second question?
Sure. Yes.
I saw on your competitor slide that one of your competitors is ChatGPT. If you think about ChatGPT 5, 6, 7, 8, what will all come? Why do you think ChatGPT will not solve that problem, and why are you the best team to solve it?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I mean, we have like one benefit compared to ChatGPT, and that's the access to the medical data. So we basically extract the medical information from the medical office software, and include medical history in the report, which is super essential to really have the best guidelines and to get the best report, basically. Because, I mean, if you take medicine, for example, it affects your blood values, and ChatGPT is not capable of doing so. I mean, you have to upload your own medical history, but as we all know, super difficult at the moment. I mean, that might change in the future, of course, but there's still the effort, you know, the patient have to use ChatGPT. And interesting fact, I mean, there are only 5% people who use ChatGPT daily. I mean, that's gonna change for sure, but many people still prefer like service and are willing to pay for it.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Very nice pitch. Very nice topic. Also, I think a lot of people can resonate with the topic of getting blood results and super overwhelmed. My question would be, or two questions. The one question would be first: is the doctor somehow involved, or is it something a service where the doctor kind of gives you access to his customers and data, and then the customer receives this, or is the doctor still involved and needs to approve it or can add comments or something like this?
So we thought about that, and we don't plan to involve the doctor because of a simple reason. If the doctor has some additional workload, he's not willing to adopt the innovation. Super simple. So we really try to leverage the doctor as a salesperson, as our partner, to basically sell the report to the patient, and he's rewarded with a share, and we generate the report with his medical data, but he's not involved in approving it.
Question would simply be: have you talked to doctors about whether they would be willing to kind of upsell those things for you, and how is this? Yeah, how did they receive that information what you are building?
Yeah, sure. We conducted interviews. We spoke to doctors, and they were super curious about the idea. I mean, money-wise, it's super interesting for them. I mean, we don't really have a product so far, and but they, were open to adopt these new innovation potentially. I mean, there are similar concepts in the market which show that it works, especially with the money they get. They're incentivized.
Regarding that, you have a product currently. What do you have already from the thing you showed?
We have just the idea. We have conducted interview. We have conducted a survey, some research, and looked into the market to get as much information as possible. But it's a complex task, especially the medical field. You have to conduct a lot of interviews, way more interviews. Data is another pain point, of course. It's not available on the internet. Of course, you can buy some blood reports, but they are unlabeled, so they are not useful yet. So we have the idea. That's like what we have so far.
To challenge you on that, you have that you could have started with.
Sorry, yeah, because we want to utilize deep learning, we need a lot of data to be able to actually create a product out of it.
I mean, honest answer to that, we pivoted quite recently, so there was not enough time to really start building a product, but we invested a lot of time in the research. That was, most of the time we spent so far.
Wonderful. If we have the time, then let me ask one last question. The way you presented it was very broad. What patient group is your current idea you would start with? Where I'm coming from is that if you start with cancer patients, you probably don't want to try to interpret their blood results, right?
No, we start with blood results at the GP. I mean, most people at the GP, they have like general diseases. They're not super sick. I mean, if they have like diagnosed cancer, they go to like the specialized doctor right away. They usually don't go to the GP to get like a blood test. So we target, of course, health-conscious people who want to have more insights into their blood results. And that's the case for many people, actually. They can't interpret anything. So far, it's like just, some numbers on it. And we want to help them to really, or we want to make it comprehensive to them and that they can build on top in terms of pivoting their life, for example, their lifestyle.
All right. Thank you very much.
I have the feeling that it's getting hot in here. I mean, we are seeing some crazy pitches and some hardcore discussions. Let this not be the last time this happens. And now let's continue with the next startup. And it's about a topic which you can already see here. Let's welcome Asteria.
Everyone. Let me start us off with a question. Why isn't there no portable charging solution for Apple Watches? And this question is actually not for you guys. The question is something that I ask myself quite a lot. I ask myself that when I'm on the way to the gym in the evening, after a long day, when my Apple Watch is about to die, which means I can't track my workout now. I'm asking that myself when I'm traveling, packing one extra charging cable just for my Apple Watch, then in the end still run out of battery because I can't charge my Apple Watch when I'm on the go. And I'm asking that question myself every evening when I have to decide whether I want to track my sleep or whether I want to charge my Apple Watch so I can use it during the day for the next day. So again, I'm asking you, why is there no portable charging solution for my Apple Watch? Why is there no solution that allows me to just throw my Apple Watch in my bag, allows me to charge my Apple Watch wherever I go, and allows me to protect it while it's charged, so that I can finally use my Apple Watch and all the features that I bought it for without any restriction? And I actually can't tell you why there isn't such portable charging solution, but I can tell you that there will be one, because we designed it.
So actually, with this initial thoughts, we have built conviction at the beginning of the sprint that we want to build something physical during these 4 weeks. But again, no remarkable product would work without the respective market. So also we conducted some interviews, especially with heavy Apple Watch users, meaning that those people who are using their Apple Watch day in, day out. And we've pretty soon realized that they suffer from it because through battery degradation, through new software updates, especially when you don't buy every year the newest model of the Apple Watch Pro, you have to charge at least once per day, and that's essentially where the pain sits, because most people that are on the go, that are very busy, and also living an active lifestyle, don't have a suitable solution for it. Either they're working with workaround solutions like a power bank and a magnetic charging cable. Although these are portable, they're not really reliable because the Apple Watch is often detached from the magnetic cables when you just throw them into your bags and purses. And also, when we presented them with our solution, they were pretty curious about it. So we've conducted a survey and some interviews, and in total we got 80 responses. And out of these 80 responses, 70% were curious about our cases, and out of these 70%, 85% say, hey, we would try your solution, and we are also on top of that willing to pay up to 90 euro for such a portable charging case. And if you kind of use these metrics, now portability, and also the reliability, you can see that we clearly outperform existing solutions. Because as I mentioned, workaround solutions are not really reliable, although portable, whereas stationary all-in-one chargers are really reliable, however, not very portable. And there are some companies out there that already build charging cases. However, from the customer reviews on the website, you can see that the hardware is probably not sufficient for the customers because you can't charge your Apple Watch very much often with it. So with our improved hardware, we also outperform them. And now I would say, Melvin, show them how our prototype is working.
Perfect. So let's take a look at our actual product. Really, imagine like you're out and in the evening you want to go to sports, but your Apple Watch is out of charge. We got you. You can easily open our charging case, take out the charging unit, and just attach your Apple Watch and see, voila, it's actually charging. So basically, you can just place it in, and with a magnetic attachment, it's holding inside. Also, if you're traveling and just want to have a charging stand, for example, in a hotel room, you can just open the box, place it on your sideboard, and also have some additional space to place some personal items. Also, there's no more need to carry an additional charging cable. Just plug in your USB-C cable, and you're good to go. And don't worry about your Apple Watch. Our high-quality case will keep it protected. But now, let's take a step back and have a look at how we want to enter the market and our actual business model. So the idea is to manufacture our product in Eastern Asia to ensure low unit cost and then import it. Then Asteria will run ad campaigns on social media applications which are targeted to our user group, and then we want to generate traffic to our own web store, We have our own web store to avoid cost for online marketplaces. And from these orders, we will fulfill them and ship our product to our customers. With a closer look at our unit, well, we have very low unit cost, and with a generously calculated marketing budget, with a 2% conversion rate, we predict to be profitable with a contribution margin of around 52%. So, Melanie, Michael, Hubert, and I, with Asteria, are really passionate about our product. And if we also convinced you, please connect us with professionals in consumer electronics. And reach out on LinkedIn or email.
Now let's move to the part of questions and answers. In the meantime, you can check our website when you can find 3D model and some other informations. And now let's proceed to the questions. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you again. Super cool design. Super cool that you have a prototype. I'd actually challenge if I would like to produce the first iteration in Asia, you will have so much headache about that. And also you won't save way too much money. But we can talk about that afterwards. So a lot of the questions that I had were answered. The design that you have, the prototype that you have, do you already collect? Yeah, my watch is also just at 14%, so I'll use that later. But do you have feedback from users of that particular case already?
I was building the case and I was like walking around. It was like, it is my baby actually. So all of my friends that have an Apple Watch had to try it and they were all pretty amazed. So they were all like, actually close it and put it in my bag and it's safe and it charges. So they were all like pretty amazed, especially with the fact that it's really safe and cushioned, so you can really throw it around, put it in your backpack whenever you're like traveling. And also that you can use it in this versatile stand that you can throw it around, or like just when you're on the go to open it a bit, close it, and you can still see it. Sure.
Do you know how to get from this to mass production?
No, that was actually a problem because we went
and
tried to do the 3D model, and I think Hubert did like great steps already, but we did decide like in the 3 weeks that we can't learn it from scratch to do the CID design.
Yeah, yes, you can. We will get you there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
Cool.
Thanks so much. I think it's great also to see a real product here. So I think, yeah, maybe I'm also a bit curious how, I mean, you shared some insight, how you came up with the idea and what your problem is, and I totally understand. I think it's kind of relatable. But how did you decide to build a physical product? And also, just out of curiosity, if you really plan to produce that now, can you maybe share a bit about your next steps, and also how would you further, what would your mission now be, or your vision also, like how would you proceed if you have money?
All right, actually that was a question in the very early days of our ideas. So how we build conviction actually was, or how we approached the sprint, is that we said, okay, we want to build a physical product, and we start basically, as you have heard in the pitch, we start with that personal pain points, and then validated it through interviews. So that would be our initial kind of idea, to start with chargeable watch cases in the beginning. However, we also have seen that it does not cover, let's say, 100%, or it does not cover the case 100% right now, because you still have to kind of put down a decent charge. So what we were thinking as a vision of it, that at some point we can build kind of comparable to what Whoop is offering at their wristbands, that you build a portable charger, portable charging pack, which you can somehow slip upon your Apple Watch and then kind of track everything all at once, while not even needing to kind of put that Apple Watch down. However, with the limited time we had, and this would definitely need some more research also product-wise, because, you know, Apple Watches can only, if you access that kind of surface with the sensors, so there we kind of have to put in much more effort than for our prototype. this would be our vision, to kind of put everything all at once without even kind of getting rid of your Apple Watch at some point.
Yeah, amazing. I love the name, I love the prototype, really amazing stuff, and great that you have this real problem from yourself and then try to fix it. Questions. The one question is, when you go into this kind of B2C business, right, and you know, building a brand, and have you thought about this? Like, how
thoughts were, yes, this is a product we need to present on social media. Because like people who are on social media use
for us, it's a lot about kind of brand building and the effort we have to put in the go-to-market. Because in the end, we are operating B2C or D2C, and you have that, I would call it challenge right now. You have it basically with every product. So some anecdotal evidence, when I worked at YFood, which is also B2C, and you also had the ready-to-drink meals, you had Huel as the main competitors and some others. YFood really due to Corona, but also because we completely relaunched our brand, we completely relaunched the CI, and this is something we want to get right from day one, so first time right at this point, and then we think that we have enough customer loyalty and engagement that things work out well, even though some Chinese manufacturers sell it for €5 less.
That was also a thing when I designed the case, that I actually wanted to have something that looks unique, that you like, when you see that, it does not look like a regular box, but you can actually see that's the Asteria case. So it's also part of the brand that you can have that special kind of case. It's not like a box that's, for corners, you could open it, you just put a box in it and close it. But you actually have that special design that makes it like renowned.
All right, first half done. And I really have to be honest, it's insane what you build in 4 weeks. It's really insane. And I'm so happy to see some hardware products. The 3D modem, when you scroll up the website, it's insane. So all the teams we've seen so far, I'm blown away. That's super cool. What's coming next? We have a short 10-minute break. So be here at 8:20. For the people who are live, you will see some great pictures. So also be there back in 10 minutes, have a drink, catch up, and see you for the second half. Thank you so much. First half done.
However, with the limited time we had, and this would definitely need some more research, also product-wise, because Apple Watches can only be charged if you
Starting up.
Welcome back to the second half of our Start Demo Day 2024. The next pitch is going to be about newspapers. And the team has nothing else than they want to revolutionize the local newspaper market. So let's give it up for Flashfeed.
Hi, we are Team Flashfeed, and we build a workflow automation tool for local newspaper optimized to reach the Gen Z. Newspaper in general, but especially local newspaper, are dying out. And guess what? That has major implications for our society. So we see an increase in corruption, like a threat to our democracy, and like an increase in right-wing populism. The reasons for that is that the Gen Z mainly consumes their information and news via social media. On the other hand, local newspaper fail to serve their need to consume short-form content, and they only deliver traditional distribution channels. Furthermore, extreme content performs better on the social media platforms, and thus creates an imbalanced view of reality. And last but not least, local newspapers struggle to become digital with their organization.
Well, a good thing that we are here to help. So, we are building a tool for digital content. That means the newspapers, they can use this tool, and they can follow these two steps here. So first of all, they will convert the content that they write anyway, the normal articles, into typical social media content, the short form content we all know. Then secondly, they can distribute this content to all the channels they want and 10 times faster if they want to do all this social media management. Let's take a look at how this works. So with this website, which we can also show you later and you can try it out, you can sign in really easily. Then what the next step is, you have to provide a link from the newspaper article. For example, here, Mbappé is changing to Madrid. This is the content. Then you generate a post. And in this case, it will be a LinkedIn post, but the same principle applies anywhere. You have time to modify anything. You can check that it's up to your quality standards. And you can click post. And now comes the real time-saving part. It just posts automatically on your Twitter account.
Okay, so now what is our business model behind that? We know that traditionally, local newspapers especially, they were monetized through advertising. And as we are doing social media posts mainly for the younger generation, this would clutter the posts. So we are opting for a subscription-based plan, and this is also divided so that you can do it capacity-based as a local newspaper. Oh, sorry. And we, of course, are aware that this market is in decline. So you can see from the numbers on the left-hand side that especially local and regional newspapers are dying out. However, we can also see that social media is the #1 tool, and it is steadily rising for the younger generations from 14 to 30 for their information source. So as soon as the local newspapers cannot cover all of the content anymore, and also if they are not reaching the younger generations, we would offer our tool to the potential customers, which would be the regional publishers, so the next step up in this hierarchy. And they can still offer their content or the localized content for the local consumer base. what is our traction right now? So we did an interview and also a survey with a former local journalist, and we surveyed our potential user base, so mainly our age group. And there we found that local content in itself will always have its place. And it is important to automate this process to still create this impactful content. The feedback for our prototype was that this tool is a good option to reach the under 30s generation and also reduces the burden of social media management for local journalists or the ones that now have to cover a wider region. In our user survey, we found that already 60% of the customer base are consuming local news very often, and they seek the improved accessibility via social media apps. So this is why we do not want to be the next news app, but rather be directly in your feed so that you don't have to opt for something and set all the filters yourself. And now, why are we the team that you should go with for this tool? We do have extensive complementary skills with backgrounds in computer engineering, mechatronics and robotics, and media management and digital technologies. So this is why we would ask you to join us on our way to build a category leader together.
Thank you. Very nice pitch. I think it was very good structured. I think, yeah, it was short and very informative. Also great idea. I'm wondering, you're attracting two different kinds of target groups, and I'm just wondering, how will you convince and attract both parties to choose your platform or solution to work with?
Yeah, I can also take it. So the content consumers, so just regular people that would read the articles, are attracted the same way that any Instagram page, for example, does it. So just social media marketing, and then they need to increase their reach. And this is currently not happening for the smaller local papers. So there is, for example, sometimes platforms for user-based content, but the user structure is 50 years upwards. So also, if they have localized content digitalized, then it's not reaching younger audiences. And as I said, with the dying down local newspapers, they don't have the capacity to do social media management. So this is where we come in to still provide content for their pages.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Also like the pitch a lot, and yeah, the structure. Two questions on my side. From on the newspaper side, who would be the user kind of? Would it be the journalist, like the guy really writing the articles and making research, or is it the social media marketing distribution job, or is this at local newspapers the same guy who does both things at once?
So what we saw in these really small local newspapers is that they often don't have any social media person at all. So it's usually the journalists themselves. And we would, like as Felix already mentioned, help them with this tool to make it easier and faster. And they have the quality check and have this kind of prompt that it's in like young generation language. So they make sure that they target the right audience.
Okay, awesome. And follow-up question, when I use the tool, so you use my content, you distribute it and you put it into new pieces kind of, do I get feedback, and does the solution learn kind of what engages, what not, or is it just kind of, producing new pieces and that's it? Or is there a learning loop involved, or a kind of statistics that I can see as an user?
No, not yet. So we didn't have time to come up with a kind of learning or like a feedback loop, which is making the model better and better. So right now it's just a prompt that we send to an LLM, but it's a valid idea, and we could think about it. And in fact, I think we have the capability to indeed build such a application which is learning.
Thanks. I like the prototype a lot, so congrats to that. And you should definitely check out the Media Lab in the Werksviertel. Good place for you, I think.
I know it.
Okay.
Two quick questions regarding the market. First of all, I know about the German market of local newspapers. Have you any idea if the German problem of dying local newspapers is still valid across borders if we go to our neighbors, or is this a German-only problem?
We didn't do much research on that because we actually plan to, for now, focus on the German market. But I think the developments that we see here, that kind of right-wing populism is, yeah, he was just pointing at US researchers finding that out. I think this is a problem that that all European countries especially, or all Western countries actually face. But I'm not sure if this has something to do with local newspapers, to be completely honest. But I think this is quite easy, or this would be kind of easy to find out.
Very interesting. Thank you for that answer. And the second question would be, the solution you showed, is there anything that makes it unattractive for everything else but small newspapers? Because that seems like a tool that simplifies workflows for everybody who has to publish some content on social media.
Yeah, this is true. We could think about that as well, but I think it's in general a good practice to first focus on main users. And we found this niche with local newspapers because it's a nice use case. But of course, especially when we have this learning approach in our application, then it's of course a tool to automate social media posts, or if you think of like adding analytics part to that platform as well that tracks performance of those posts as well, which then could again be used for learning. Then of course you could think about that, but if we stay in the newspapers domain, then the larger newspapers like Tagesschau, for example, or other media groups already have quite big social media departments, and of course you could tell them you can fire your employees, but this wasn't our main focus. But maybe this is a good idea for the future.
You don't say you have to learn. You don't say fire. You say use the resources in a more efficient way.
Reduce capacity.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now I will call to the stage the next startup. I won't tell you much about them, but yeah, let's call onto the stage NextGen.
It's not showing. Does recognize it?
Okay, then maybe let's lose the time. Maybe let's lose the time for something else. I mean, you are the new batch right now. What were the craziest things you had, which happened in the last month? You wanna tell those, or you don't wanna tell those? The Hut Weekend. What happened in the Hut Weekend? Yeah, we are live streaming. It's a test, guys. It's still your first month. We're done. Okay, great. Then Then let me try it again because I said it wrong. Let's welcome to the stage Protection.
Thanks, all right. Hi, we are Protection, and we are equipping your workforce for the future of Gen AI cyber threats. Sorry, guys.
Hey, it's Lucas.
Oh, hey, Lucas. I'm in the middle of a pitch right now. Make it quick.
Sorry, I just have a little emergency. Stupid IT department locked me out again.
Oh,
Can you shoot them an email for me to reset my password? Thanks.
Sure thing. I'll do it after the pitch, though.
Hey, wait a minute. That wasn't me.
Oh, okay. He's right. It couldn't have been him. He's standing right there. What that was a generative AI voice clone. And while I hope that you never are exposed to this kind of threat, it's here. Gen AI is a disruptive cybersecurity threat. Even in the last year, we saw a 31x increase in deepfake-related fraud attempts. So it's not surprising that in a survey of 650 professionals, 85% of them already attribute an increase in attacks to the usage of Gen AI. When we conducted our own surveys and asked specifically about this voice cloning technology, 91% of the respondents said that it's going to be a strong or even very strong threat to their company in the future. And they are right. I mean, Gen AI from here on out will only improve. It will only get better. And this improvement is going to happen fast. So there is a need for employees to keep up with the latest state of AI voice cloning technology. And that's where we come in. We are a cybersecurity company offering personalized and scalable simulation training to your employees. We do so by employing our own cutting-edge AI model capable of having a real-time conversation with your workforce and either educating them about the latest state of technology or running personalized simulation of voice phishing. And if your employees are vulnerable or just intrigued, they can always learn more on our learning platform. From the admin perspective, our automated voice phishing calls come with customized scenarios that fit exactly into your business. And with voice cloning, you can, for example, clone the voice of your CEO to make the simulation that much more convincing and the training so much more effective. And after all that, we provide comprehensive statistics on your risks and exposures, so you have tangible results that you can see, where you can see an improvement over time. And this does have a market.
All right, so with our product, we are entering a rapidly developing market that is expected to grow more than 5 times in the upcoming years. It was valued at more than $24 billion last year and is expected to grow to more than $130 billion in 2030. So with this growth in mind, we designed a business model that looks as follows. So we are charging €5. We are charging the market standard of €5 per employee each month. In the same time interval, we are aiming to onboard between 1,000 and 1,500 employees, which over a period of 1 year of sales and onboarding results to almost 60 to 75,000 euros in monthly recurring revenue. Of course, we are not the only ones in the cybersecurity space. However, the traditional cybersecurity players focus on a more generic protection approach, which handles more classical threats such as malware, ransomware, and email phishing. So therefore, we believe that the Gen AI security space is still in its infancy, and we are entering in a market gap that is still unexplored by most players in the market, because our platform offers both personalized training and a new niche of Gen AI-based security threats. So our vision starts with development and testing for the period of 3 to 6 months, which is followed by a market entry strategy. And after we have completed these 2 milestones, we start scaling, which in turn will help us further develop the platform to add more advanced protective features that will cover a wider range of security threats. If you are wondering who is behind this platform, it's my colleague Lucas, who will be handling management. Myself, I will do the finance part. Janos, who will be doing the product design, and Till, who will be handling research and development. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Any questions are welcome.
Thank you so much. Impressed by the opening. I think that was very funny. No, thanks for the pitch. Great idea. I'm just wondering, how will you bring this business to rolling? Like, maybe we can start. You defined €5 per month, 1,000 employers per month. How did you define that? Where do you want to start? Which market do you want to entry? Which companies do you want to include first? So maybe a bit more on that.
So the €5 is kind of the market standard that normal cybersecurity companies charge. Of course, some charge less, some charge more. That's depending on what their protective measures are. We will be handling a new niche, so we thought that positioning at the market average is pretty fair. Onboarding 1,000 employees a month, well, we thought if we manage to onboard one new company every week that only has an average of 200 or 250 employees, which for German companies is not a lot, to be frank, we will easily reach our goal. Which will in turn lead to the recurring revenue that we calculated at the end of the first sales year. And the markets that we want to target first are financial services, healthcare, which basically have sensitive data that they want to protect, and also public services, because they also have a lot of data that is kind of sensitive.
Thank you.
Staying with the customer segments, do you have some feedback from those segments that you just talked about?
So,
so we have good connections to a lot of clients already in the AI department, and we talked to a multitude of them. And as you saw in our statistics and in our own survey, a lot of people already in the companies know about the potential of Gen AI, but don't have any clue about how the state of Gen AI development is at the moment and how to protect their companies against these threats. So,
do they know about your solution? Give you feedback on what you have planned there?
Not really. So, I mean, this is a sprint.
Yeah. Actually, I would put it that way. During the first week, we mainly focused on the feasibility part, because this seems to be quite a technological leap that we're aiming to do here. So we tried out a model, did the voice cloning in the beginning, tried out some open source models, and verified the problem space. So we know that companies struggle with cybersecurity. We know that Gen AI is posing a threat. Our solution verification would be the next step before building it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the pitch. Super interesting and super good storyline. So congrats on that. My question would be, because you have this voice intro, and I also like the introduction a lot, so you have this voice focus. What is the role of voice compared to, in generally, cybersecurity and generative AI? Because I'm wondering, is it a fact that I need to be a business that does a lot of voice operations still? Or is that just one example and you just, it's just one use case that you showed?
So I think there's a major trend in technology to have more voice-based interfaces. So I don't think we're anywhere near the point where we only focus on screens. But other than that, pretty much any business that conducts business via the telephone is in scope, because that's where you're vulnerable. That's the attack surface.
So, for example, we use Hoxhunt internally with our department, and everybody's annoyed by the test, but it's happening. So would you be coming into discussions and say we are a complementary tool, or is it like we want to replace Hox Hunt, or like what would your approach be towards those customers who already use something like you showed on the competitor slide?
So we don't want our tool to be included. We want to build a platform for these specific GenAI threats. So we had a lot of internal discussion about how to effectively target this problem, and came to the conclusion that you of course have to focus on both the machine side, so blocking tools, and the human side. So this is what we focus on. Yeah, you can see Hox Hunt there. And so we tried, our strategy is basically to start with the human side, develop tools for that, get in pretty easy access to some clients, and design a friendly environment to continue developing models to also to build a general platform against these new GenAI threats. So potentially also include tools to block in real time these threat calls. Yeah.
One last question. What is your, because you mentioned the technical aspects of it, or the technology side, like what do you expect, what is a feasible time to build something that is kind of, I don't know, MVP prototype ready to showcase?
So in the first step, we would probably be relying on API calls. So there are tools to connect different LLM providers or voice synthesis providers together. So these are quite low in the level of entry that is required. So that's super, super feasible for a minimum viable product. The major challenge here will probably be latency. So when you're in a real-time voice call, you don't want to wait a couple seconds for a response. You'll easily know that the other side is a bot. So the goal in the future would be to integrate the response generation, the voice generation, all into one multimodal model that we're currently seeing, for example, with GPT-4o.
And also to add on this, as we already said, we already deployed some local models, open source, and there are models you can use to do real-life or real-time voice imitation. So this is already happening. And just to specify this, we don't want to develop a large language model or tools. This is not the focus of this, but because we never could compete with like OpenAI, but it's about educating employees.
I think this will be really impressive for those people when you showcase something, even with their voice, it's like, oh my god. So kudos to that, very good, thank you. Thank you.
So this was Protect Gen. And now we already have done 5 pitches. You heard 5 ideas. And now we have come to the last pitch. And I have to be honest, I am particularly excited about this one because I had the honor to coach this team. And they are amazing, I know that. And they work on ESG reporting. And if you think about ESG reporting and all those reports which the EU is making right now, and you think, oh, this is annoying, then I feel with you, and the next team is going to solve your problems. Welcome to the stage, Audit Paul.
Today, ESG managers at small SMEs are hit by a myriad of new regulations. To comply, they're spending a significant amount of time trying to read through these hundreds and hundreds of pages, trying to understand these complex and unclearly written reports. Today, we are also changing the status quo with Audit Paul, your co-pilot for ESG compliance.
So to give you a short insight about how big this topic is, we have over 50,000 companies to comply with CSRD, Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, in 2 years by 2026. So why is this a problem? Especially for small and mid-sized companies, they're struggling in this huge jungle of regulations. And we also conducted an interview where a supply chain and ESG manager told us that you really need to be in this topic. So this is not a side task. And therefore, we have some pain points with this problem. So first, we have a lot of regulations and also unclear content in these regulations. Also, data collection is hard. So you have a lot of stakeholders, you need to collect data. This is time consuming and cost intense. As well with these stakeholders, you need to coordinate all of them. Also think of tax companies and consultancies. You need to structure them, and this is most of the time unstructured and inefficient. So here's our solution. We want to present you a personalized digital co-pilot to guide you through this sustainability reporting progress. And yeah.
Our co-pilot offers you a way to understand the regulations that affect you. It will guide you through the process and also understanding the requirements. The same thing it will do with data, because part of meeting compliance needs is gathering a lot of data, and a lot of the times people don't know where to find this data or what kind of data they need. So our co-pilot will help you deal with that. The last thing is the coordination as well. Running around looking for information is not an easy task, and you easily get lost into who's doing what, who needs to do what, which information comes from where, and so we aim to also solve this with this product. This is how it works. We start off by gathering data. So this is basically data about your organization. It helps us classify you and understand what regulations are relevant for you. Our co-pilot guides you through a step-by-step process in figuring out what you actually need to do. When we understand your company, we can then make recommendations, and when we do make those recommendations, you have the ability to finally take action. You can dive deeper into some of the recommendations, and this will give you, for example, ability to just talk to our co-pilot and find out what do I need to do, what kind of data is relevant, and we'll also give you sort of an analysis of what is relevant for your industry. For example, in the energy sector, some of this is public, and we can see what your competition is looking like in the same topics. Once you're done with understanding regulations, then comes the hard work, the compliance part. Each of the regulations is treated as a separate project, and in each of them, you can handle and manage all the activities that are involved. So as you can see in this one, we have a bunch of regulations that we're working on, and for each of those, you can dive deeper and have an overview of all the activities that are happening. So you know who's providing which data, you know what's pending. You also can see notification in terms of what are the updates on this regulation. This is helpful for us as well on the implementation side, because we can then tap into this data and tell you which data is missing and what might need action at the time. Same with just understanding what's happening in each step. This bit of the tool will help you kind of assign tasks to everyone responsible, and anyone who's interested in keeping track of this process will do so with the tool as well. We also help with communication with stakeholders, both internally and externally. So an example is some companies need to contact their suppliers to understand how things happen down the supply chain, and all this information is happening, is being accumulated in different parts of the organization. The next time you need to do an audit in a similar regulation, you don't know where this information is, but having it in one place allows us to train the context of our models. It also allows everyone else to have an oversight on what information is relevant. Then back to
yes, and so coming to our main competitors, our main competitors are basically ESG consultancies, but the difference here is they don't offer that co-pilot that you just saw Patrick demonstrate, and they mostly focus on big customers and big firms. And what differentiates us from these other companies is that Audit Paul streamlines all the communication with suppliers, tax offices, and consultants, just as you saw. So the whole, you see everything is transparent, and you know who did what and communicated with whom. You also have personalized insights. So based on all the data that that the customers put in, basically, we would provide specific insights, and Audit Paul is very easy to set up. The market size, well, globally, we have about 150,000 potential customers, and assuming that for each seat, for each customer, you'd have 10 seats, and each seat would be about 100 euros. We would have a market size of 1.8 billion euros. We think Europe would be our strongest market, and within Europe, we assume that for the beginning, we would be able to tackle 1%, which would give us 6 million market size. And by the way, the total global market is a very conservative estimate, and we think it's actually higher. Our go-to-market strategy is basically starting with small and medium-sized companies, and starting with the industries of manufacturing and materials in Germany. And from there, we want to expand in other European countries, while also continuing with small and medium-sized enterprises, and in the end, target larger enterprises. And our roadmap is, well, today's our first pitch, and we want to launch our MVP in 2 months, in August, and from there on start onboarding first customers. In October, we want to cover more regulations, and by the end of the year, want to generate reports automatically. Well, our team, we have Tabea as expert of product and finance, Vladimir, expert in product and sales, and Patrick and me, we're experts in engineering, software engineering. And yeah, join us on our mission to streamline ESG reporting and market and make it efficient, easy, and impactful.
Thanks for the pitch. Super important topic, obviously. The way you structured it, I have the feeling that you're trying to sell 2 products at once. The one would be a product management tool that from the looks a little bit like Asana to me, and the other one is a lot of knowledge. That brings me to the question, when building the MVP in now only 2 months, what would be the core features of that MVP that you can build in 2 months?
So the core feature that we want to build in the next 2 months would be just getting to understand the regulation, because for us that's the initial entry point, and no one else is doing something like that. Everything else comes on top of that.
Which regulation in specific?
So CSRD is what we're targeting at the moment. Yeah. It's most urgent, and a lot of companies also don't know what to do with it.
And a very stupid question because I don't know it. Who is that regulation relevant for?
Basically, companies who have, I believe, 150 employees and up, and make revenue, create revenue of, if they're international, then 150 million, and if they're local, then 40 million. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think here it's important to consider we cannot compete against big consultancies like KPMG, which are doing it for the large corporations. So we are really trying to target the smallest ones that are affected. And even those who aren't directly affected, I mean, ESG, it's everywhere. And also the company that we talk to, depending on the industry, you have specific regulations that you have to comply to. And what is really important is that we are for those. So we are for those companies who cannot hire large consultancies and who just have a question on, like if I have a screw, how do I need to report on this screw? And so we are for those.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. I can only agree. Important topic and very interesting. I think many different solutions, but I was wondering, you had one slide about the recommendations. And as I understood, as a company, when I'm part of an SME, I will put my data into your platform, and then you will give me some recommendations. Maybe you can elaborate a bit more about these recommendations. What are you focusing on? Based on what are you making these recommendations, and also what potential for scalability will you have with these recommendations?
Yeah, so starting with the last question, because we are targeting smaller companies, we need to make it scalable because we need a lot of customers to make it work. On how it works, so it will most likely be LLM based. So we either train the model on a regulation, or we just do prompting, which is also rapidly evolving, right, and getting better. And then, yeah, I guess, Patrick.
So we start by gathering your data, right? And this kind of allows us to understand enough about your organization. Now, from there, you're able to kind of just, on the other side as well, we are scraping data from all these regulatory sites. So EULEX, for example, provides an API, SOAP-based API, that we plug into to gather data about all the regulations. We also go through other websites and download, because they have also like documents. So we train our model based on those documents. So that's the data we're basing on one side. And on the other side, you saw the onboarding step. We gather data about your organization. So this is close to what a consultant will actually do. They will sit with you back and forth. So we just say, hey, just drop this here. We're going to get this data. We're going to, have the model know your data. The model also on one side, because we've trained it, it knows the regulatory data. So then it combines the two and makes that decision. Say, does this apply to XYZ? If yes, then this should be the recommendations. Of course, a lot of it is as good as the data you can provide. So the more you use it, the more you interact with it and give it data, the better it would suit your needs. So if you saw one of the, No. So this, for example, you can see this sidebar here. It's gonna keep giving you recommendations. So if you know if it's telling you something because it doesn't have the data and it's asking you for data, you can just drop an extra attachment here and say, oh, but this is the thing about my organization. Then it will, adjust the recommendation based on the data you're giving it. So as you use it, as you give it more context about your organization, the better it gets to advise you on that.
And you see anyone can put in data, and you see basically who shared what. So it's very transparent to. Yeah. You don't need to ask different people, and then I got it from that person. I got it from that person. So it's very.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have one more question, if it's okay. But thanks for the music. I like it. So you mentioned one super important topic is the topic of you have a software product, people use it, customers have one very unfair trade. Often, they want to use a product, they see the time to value, like how fast can they get value out of the product. So if you depend on kind of the good data they put in, what if they don't have it? And then kind of you are the product where they expect value. So actually the answer is get better data. Like how do you see that topic of customers, like the solution, but they don't have the stuff to put in yet? Like how do you deal with that? Have you thought about this, or what is your experience with that issue?
We've not thought about it too detailed. What we want to do is guide them a lot more. So in some cases, we also expect that the recommendation will be that you need to start gathering this kind of data because, for example, there's regulations that are coming in 2026, but they have the option to delay till 2028. And one of the things that we want to do is check that if they don't have this information, they can start gathering this information so that by the time this needs to be reported, we're all good. Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of guidance, a bit of education as well, but this is what we're here to do.
Keeping them up to date. So basically, if new regulations will come out in, say, 2 years, to already keep them up to date and inform them early on so they can adjust.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, what will happen now? Now we have this wonderful jury here sitting. We listened to 6 great pitches, but the problem is now we need kind of a winner there. And the bigger problem is every of those pitches is really different. So now you have the task to find a winner for us. And you have 15 minutes for this, and I think we are all really curious about what you will find out. So please give a big applause to the jury going out and thinking of these pitches. Yeah, you can bribe them now, but no, okay. Now what will happen now, we will do 2 pitches from great startups we have in our network. The first one is Stepsailer, Pascal is from my batch. We did Start Sprints last semester and it was already crazy, but I have the feeling that this is even more crazy, and this is kind of getting really crazy with all of the cameras here. But now I think I will stop talking and I will give the microphone to Pascal. Welcome.
Hey people, today we're talking about user interfaces, and I know most of you already sat in front of one of those, as Personio and After Effects. And yeah, you sat in front of your computer, in front of a software product, and you knew that it solves a nice problem for you. It has loads of features and you have no idea how to use it. And you feel frustrated about it. And I'm telling you, there's a person that is even more frustrated about you being frustrated than you. And that's the person that creates the product. And why? Well, if you don't understand the value of a product, you're not going to use it, and you're also not going to pay for it. And we can establish the fact that software product companies or software product teams need to educate their user about their software. So, and how do they do this? Well, they utilize these fancy seminars or onboarding calls, or they even have onboarding software. And these channels are super expensive, and we have numbers where they have to pay 2 million in yearly salaries just for one of these channels. And to make an even better example of how big the pain point is, let us talk about Personio, because they make mid-market deals. That means they, good. They make mid-market deals, and what that means is that they sell to bigger corporates with very big deal sizes. And there's a market that they can't reach because they have a high onboarding cost for each customer they have. And there are 12,000 small to mid-sized businesses that only have small deal sizes, and they can't onboard them because of the high cost of 10,000 per onboarding, and also the problem of not having enough staff. So what they need is some kind of solution where there's less human touch, and that's exactly where we come in. Stepsailer offers low-touch user onboarding with a few clicks, and what we do is, okay, this looks not like it should be, maybe the beamer is not perfect, but what we do is actually that we take the product and we visually capture it and we analyze it, and we build up this knowledge base about the product where we have the semantic and visual understanding of it, and then we can generate onboarding material for each use case at the push of a button, which looks for the user like that. So imagine you're using Personio and you have this assistant that pops up, and you can just ask him, hey, can you show me around? Can you explain me how X or Y goes? And you will receive an answer, but it's not going to be a text. It is going to be a a guide. It will guide you through the product and show you exactly where you have to click. And the idea is that it analyzes the screen that you have, so it understands what your current problem is. And this is exactly what sets us apart from our competition, because our competition uses this one-size-fits-it-all approach, and we focus on this interactive and personalized learning journey. And the competition also focuses or has these manual setups that don't adapt to the product when it develops, because software products are very dynamic in nature. This makes them very, very cost intensive to maintain. And this is exactly why we are in a sweet spot down here, which apparently also has problems of portraying. Can we dim the lights maybe? Is that possible? Okay. Next time I will use darker colors. Thank you for that. And this puts us into the digital adoption platforms market, and it's a booming one. We have around 260 million of serviceable obtainable market, and it's going to grow up to 700 million by 2030. So about our KPIs. We want to really get KPIs now. That's what we are at. We have already people that use our product. We have startups that use our product. We have also like agreed pricing. We have a corporate that is evaluating it, is interested in the concept. But what we need right now, because we want to do a seed round next year in January, or at least begin, let's say that. We need KPIs. That means we need to establish our product in a company and really measure that we can make this impact. And this is where we are right now. We have a list of 130 prospects that we also try to reach out and get into. And let's talk about us. Who are we? I'm founding this with Moritz Grundei. He's a friend that I know out of my childhood. I think most of you in the room know him as well, and you know what kind of great team we are actually, so I don't have to sell us. But most of us would describe us as some kind of, married couple. But we worked on different kinds of products, so we know each other by heart, and I trust him with everything I have actually. And we are also this very nice deep tech team with a complementary skill set, where he went to MIT. At Truman, he has this very nice knowledge about algorithms and AI, and I have experience in building software products, and I'm able to build a product, also him as well, to really bring it out to the market. So we have this nice complement here, and everything else that we don't have, we will learn, do, and we have mentors that help us. And I hope that was a nice overview of what we do. Help us making software products self-explanatory. And reach out if you have any questions. Thank you very much.
After the first dream team, the second dream team is now coming on stage with Anna Julia and Joran, who are pitched as Curio, and their goal is to empower high school students, and I think the topic is super interesting, so now the stage is yours. Welcome.
So Joran and I both grew up in this. One second. This does not work. Just click on the laptop. Yeah, that works. Okay. So Joran and I both grew up in pretty much the same town, a very, very small one, right at the border to the Czech Republic. And both of our parents actually didn't go to university. And so when we were sitting at Stanford campus a couple of months ago, casually eating lunch, I just graduated from a master's there in data science. And so we looked at each other and we were like, how the hell did we get here? And after discussing for quite a while, the answer became pretty simple. There was always one person who believed in us so much that they put an idea into our mind that we didn't think was possible. In our case, I told Joran about 2 years prior to that event, why don't you just come to the Bay Area? He was 18 at that moment. And he indeed made it happen at 20, which is a pretty young age for that.
And to be honest, I was actually just lucky. So the only reason I got in contact with Julia was when I was looking for flats in Munich, somebody gave me a number so I could find one. And to make this a bit more visible, what this like small connection impact had for me is, thanks to Julia, I was quite early aware of what opportunities are out there in this ecosystem and how I can grab them. And for me, this was like, just a starting point that Julia pushed me, so I applied. And I mean, I guess you all know Tacto. And there was one person, his name is Andre Petri, and he gave me, as an 18-year-old first semester, that chance just because, he likes to give chances. He's a great person and believed in me. And this was really like the starting point for me. And also like being able to do other adventures like going to Nepal, working at Building Radar, doing my stay in the US, and also like my next adventure is just possible because of all the great people I met on the way.
Now what you just heard isn't just applying to us. There's a very famous study at Harvard that basically says that up to 99% of our success depends on our reference group, so the people we associate with on quite a daily basis. But we all know that most of us don't grow up being surrounded by the people that lift us up and unleash our potential. And that is why we created Curio as a nonprofit. Curio is a community and a mentorship program specifically for high school students that help them seek paths that are like in their realm of ambition, but kind of like outside of what they can imagine right now.
Yeah, and how are we trying to help the students to make like this luck that we had a bit more transparent for everyone? First, we just started by doing a simple one-on-one mentoring. So we talked to students, tried to figure out what would you like to do after school, and then we try to help with our experience and our network to get them to the right people who would help them to give them advice. For example, like how is the study program, or how can I go to the US? How can I do the certain internship? And really just like making this way possible. And also just last week, we launched a new mentoring platform, which is basically like a list of, or like a platform of a lot of mentors. And you can, as a high school student, just go there and look for the people that you find inspiring. Like, for example, there's somebody who is studying computer science and is then working at Bosch, for example, which is quite a big thing for a lot of students. Then you can just like reach out to them, ask them as many questions as you want of how they got there. Then you kind of like have like the path of doing so. And the last thing we did, especially for like the lost students, as I was definitely one of them, is like a basic AI test. So you answer a few questions, and based on that, we can give you personalized recommendations of what universities would apply to you, what study program. And this is the amazing team behind us, and I'm amazed every single day how these bunch of talented people help support the mission for no money at all. And because we have like this great team and we would like to grow Curio and also like make this whole like service that is free for a lot more students and help them achieve their dreams, we are currently looking for people in web development. We have a great one who is, I'm not sure if he's still in the back, already helped us like set up the mentoring platform, but we are still looking for more people who would like to have to put their creative mind to use and start new projects with us, and also for people in social media who would just like to create or raise more awareness for Curio, so we can reach more students. And this is basically it. If you would like to reach out, and this sounds like something you could push forward, then please reach out to us and sign up as a mentor. It only takes 7 minutes, and you would give back to a lot of people, to a lot of young students. And that's actually, I would like to play the memo right now. I didn't ask the mentee, so I couldn't do it. But we just received like a great memo like a few days ago, where one mentee was able to actually get her A-level with a 1.0. And she was basically just screaming the whole time. So this is like one of the great experiences you can just have as a mentor. So I highly encourage you, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you.
And now, not thank you for watching. I mean, yes, thank you for watching, but there's still the best part coming. The jury is still, no, they are finished, great, okay. Then give a big round of applause for the jury. with the jury on stage, there is one thing we kind of have to do, because all of this was not possible to do by myself, of course. What? We have a lot great partners here for the whole onboarding phase, which ends today, sadly. So I have to read out some sponsors which helped us go through this pain and through the wonderful moments we created, and I don't want to miss anybody. So maybe just applause to every one of those right now. Thank you for the onboarding sponsors: Infineon, Greenforce, YFood, Coffee Heroes, Reply, Flix, Vlogstrom, and Holy. Thank you for the Start Sprint partners: Explore, Tom Ventures, Entrepreneurs, Intel Ignite, 10x Founders, Entler, Gate Garching. Great, wasn't it? And thank you the most for the wonderful Start departments which helped to do this whole sprint with the new batch. Thank you for the partnership department, of course. I mean, you heard it. For all of these great partnerships. Thank you for marketing the hell out of this sprint. I loved it. And also our partners loved it. Thank you for the people department. I mean, the Start Sprint is kind of a people department topic, and this great team worked the hell out of it. There are so many individuals I have to pick. I have to kind of tell you right now, but maybe let's do this with a beer outside afterwards. But I have to thank Orca Endeavors for doing this great sprint, this great video stream. I mean, you on your screens can't see it. There's a camera here. There are two cameras there. There's a camera here. There's also a great camera operator here. Thank you, Jean-Paul. And thank you, Elisa, for moderating with me. It was a pleasure. And last but not least, thank you to one really special person I want to see on the stage. Kim, please explode in applause for her. She made all of this possible. You have to, I'm sorry. Yeah, when I was looking like behind this, that's what the crazy signs I got. And now I'm more than happy to give the mic to the jury and to see who won the Start Sprint. With all of these crazy ideas you had, I think it's really hard to pick one. That's why I'm curious.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It's very close to impossible to pick one because all the teams were so unique and so different on so many levels from what you did, from the problem you picked to the solution you picked, of course, and to the business model you all choose. That being said, we had a very hard time selecting one. We would highly recommend every single team to continue working. Also approach us for every team. We have some resources to help you succeed, to help you go the next steps, and really do that. I think every single team here can become a big company that makes a great impact in the society. That being said, we think that there is one team that could benefit very much from the potential prize, that given that they get down a little with the sale and crack the nut of the sale, that they are up to and very close to a market. And this team, now I have to see the name again, because I couldn't remember, is Flashfeed.
Starting Cup.
Minute 24. Bye bye.
to this person there. Maybe you want to announce the prize.
Yes, so we at Antler, we thought about giving the winning team, so now the 4 of you,